to My Scars, My Testimony. You know, it's a beautiful Friday with your host, Usis Nomzamo, Sifikile Sikalelekile. But before I tell you Uguti, I'm sitting with who, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Sikona, Facebook, My Scars, My Testimony. Instagram, My Scars, My Testimony. And also on TikTok, Siatolagala, My Scars, My Testimony. Every Friday, 7 p.m. we are on YouTube Live. Please tune in with us. Today, I'm having a wonderful woman, a queen, so beautiful. You know, the cameras are watching us, yabo. It's because of my queen here. Ndibuti. Finally.
Yo, finally I am sitting. So finally I am here.
Yes, on My Scars.
Ash, you must just remind me that, hey, you are the you are the interviewer because I can just take over. Now I wanted to start.
Yes, you wanted to do your
I wanted to say something, Jay.
You can do the
Let
intro
me
then.
pop.
You
I
can
know,
do
I
the
don't-
intro.
It's fine. Let me Paul. But was it you? Papa Lomtana, yo. But anyway, thank you so much for having me here.
Yes, yes.
I feel honored. I'm a bit
Thank
scared. I think it's also because when you come here, like I've always been behind the camera and the stories that you cover. Oof. Yeah. So it's something else.
Today we are hearing your
Today it's me
testimony.
and, you know.
We are hearing, we could see through your scars, you have testimony.
Yeah.
So someone who will say, I don't know Ndibuti. Who's Ndibuti? Who's this woman, superwoman, beautiful and strong? And yay, I can tell you more, guys. It's in chances introduce.
Hey, okay. My name is Ndivuo. I always forget my age, but I feel like I'm always 23. So we can just stick to 23. The 30,
Young
whatever,
and,
it doesn't matter. I'm not there.
Yeah,
I'm just a girl, you know. But yeah, I am Ndivuo, and I was raised by a single mom. And I think I went through the most, if I can put it that way. But I'm grateful that with the scars comes a testimony as well. Yeah.
Growing up, raised by a mom, was it a single parent? How many were you, siblings? And
It was single parent. So my father was married to another woman.
Okay.
So she was a side chick, if we could put it that way. And obviously with that means that my father was here and there, you know, checking in. Sometimes he would disappear for like 3 years, show up, hi. But I've always known my dad because he didn't stay far from my home. So I would see him pass, I would see his family, I would see his kids, you know. Even though at that time you feel like it's unfair, but when you grow up, you get to realize some certain things that, things happened this way because it was because of this. So I was raised by my mom. It was my sister. Her name was Charlotte, who was killed by her baby daddy. And then there was me. We had a 7-year gap. And then after me, there's another 9-year gap with my little brother, who turned out to be my son as well, because we ended up adopting him after my mother died.
you became a deputy parent
Hey,
now.
Yazin.
When we grow up, you know, hey,
Yeah,
Bazali,
I
things
became a
make us to do.
Yay.
We become deputy parents now.
Yes, I remember the time that my mom was pregnant.
Yes.
My sister was also pregnant. And they gave birth to my kids because they died, both of them. And I was left with the boys because they each gave birth to a boy, same year. So yeah, I do have the 2 bonus kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how was it like, especially who died first? Was
My
it your
sister.
sister? Can you take us through that?
Yo, I think someone once asked me between my mom and my sister, whose death was more painful. And I always say my sister. And firstly, because it was the first in the family. It was actually the first funeral that I've ever attended. And also because growing up, my mom used to work far from home. So meaning that she would go to work on maybe Sundays evening and come back on Friday. So then the deputy parent was my
Your
sister.
sister.
So we were very, very, very close. She was one person that was there for me. So on the day that she passed, Yo, I'll never forget that day. It was actually in the middle of the night on her son's birthday. And they had planned with my mom a few days before that on this day I'm going to come to the bus stop because she, after having a child, she was staying at the in-laws, even though she was not really married, but she was staying there. So they had planned that, okay, on Tuesday, we're going to meet at the bus stop. I'll give you money to buy your child a cake and stuff like that. So that night when we were sleeping, midnight, we hear hooting by the gate. And obviously because we are at home, everybody's scared. So no one is going out, you know. And I think my mom peeped through the window and she could see police cars. And as soon as they saw that someone was opening the window, I think Nabo, they were now fed up and frustrated because nobody's opening, you know? So they ended up screaming and shouting and saying, Eyo, we will turn back. We just came to tell you that your daughter has been killed. I heard it, but I didn't hear it. I heard my mom crying. She went out and then like in my family, at home, my grandmother was also staying there. My mom's siblings, 3 siblings, so it was aunt and 2 uncles. I don't count them as family, and I'll explain why maybe when we continue.
Yes.
So they went out. Like when I say I heard them saying that my sister has died, but for some reason it couldn't register.
At that moment.
Yes. So they went out. Obviously, because I'm a child, I wouldn't go out, but I stood by the door to hear what they were saying. For some reason, I heard them saying my mom stole something and she's getting arrested. I don't know. I think my mind just couldn't take that my sister is no more. So now I was worried for my mom. I was even angry that why would she do that? Now she's going to jail. And
Because
then,
you were seeing police around
yes,
the scenario.
and I think I got angry. I went back to sleep because I was like, I disengaged. Yeah, I went back to sleep normally. And I woke up. When I woke up, the yard, you know how it is at the villages. The yard was full because now they know that there's a funeral. Somebody died. And when I woke up, nobody said anything to me. I woke up, I took a bath, and I'm going to school. I remember my uncle says, hey, Ndivo, where are you going? I said, I'm going to school. Why? Why are you asking? And he said, no, nothing, you know? And
They let you
nobody
to
said
school?
anything. So I went and got into the bus, got my friend there. So at the bus, there's always time for news. So now they were reporting, saying that I and my friend normally used to make fun of those stories. You never, even if they say somebody died and whatever, we'll just make fun of it. So on that day now, they announce my sister's death. That's where in it registered, oh, shucks. This is what the police meant yesterday when they said, your child has been killed, telling my mom. So now they were going into details that this is what happened and. And my friend there sitting with me now, she is want to make fun of it. Yeah, these girls that they do fat and set. And that's what we used to do, Vel. But on that day, I couldn't laugh. Because that's when I realized, this is my sister.
Did they mention your sister's name?
They did. And also the guy's name that killed her.
And you knew
Yeah,
at that
but
moment.
still, I went to school. Normally, I pretended to be brave. There's no opportunity for me to cry. You know, like, where am I going to cry to? You know, but I did tell my friend that is my sister. And I remember it was an hour drive to school. It was just dead silent. We were not talking. She didn't know what to say. And coming back home, still nobody said anything to me. Like, I would just do what I do, like eavesdrop, hear what is happening. Oh yeah, she was killed. Hey, we're going to do postmortem. Hey, they don't want to give us the corpse because even that family. Remember, I said they were not married, but because they
Yes.
were rich, they managed to keep my sister's corpse and bury her. So we just went on Saturday, like anybody else, to bury my sister. They were that powerful.
So, yeah, it was a bit sad because in the villages, they don't allow you to take someone's daughter
They
and
don't.
bury them without even paying lobola or coming to the family even to announce that we want a hand in marriage.
Yeah.
So how was it like knowing
For me-
that even the funeral, it's not at your home? You have
Yeah.
to go to the guy that stabbed your sister.
Yeah. At that time, for me, I didn't really feel anything because I didn't understand what was happening. Probably because I was young, I actually thought, it is what it is. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be done. I didn't know. But only when I'm older and I recall the conversations that were being heard, how my mom got depressed after that because she was not allowed, to do what she was supposed to do as a mother. And even the guy was never arrested. 3 days later, he was released from jail. I actually heard that he wanted to come to the funeral, but I think people just said, no, it's a bit too insensitive, And he won the case. Apparently, my sister killed herself. And they were doctor's report because it was not the first time that it was happening. He had stabbed her many times. Like years. The abuse had been happening for years. My sister would come back home saying that I'm no longer going back there. She would come with steps on her back. My mom would take her to the doctors, but you know how it is. They always go back. So she would still go back, But funny enough, because money speaks, the dockets disappeared. The doctors' files from their offices disappeared. Everything disappeared.
Like there was no case.
There was no case. And at the end of the day, she killed herself. No, whatever that she used to kill herself was never found. So I guess she killed herself and he did. Njani,
How
we don't
so?
know, Yeah. So, but one thing that I remember my mom saying was that whether he gets arrested or not, it doesn't change that my daughter is dead. So for me is to forgive. And I think that's wherein I learned to forgive, because that was the guy that I will still see, because he was a taxi driver. So even when I'm going somewhere or I'll stop the taxi, I realize, oh, it's him. I would get, but I'll just let him pass. But I had to learn to forgive. Yeah.
There's a part that you pointed that she was abused over and over again. So we are living in a country or in a society where women are so abused and they are quiet.
Yeah.
Well, what would you say to a woman who's still staying there, to saying, you know what, this is my man, but she's being abused again and again?
Sometimes I feel like sometimes, even though maybe it might be a bit insensitive, but I feel like those people cannot be advised. Somewhere, somehow, they just have to face themselves in the mirror and decide, is this what I want for myself or not? Because no matter how many times you advise these people, they don't leave. They leave with a coffin. And at some point, I was angry at my sister. Even when I look at the son now, the son is 24 years old. I've taken him to rehab more than 3 times. And I get angry when I think about it, that had she chosen herself and the son, I wouldn't be taking care of the son. The son wouldn't be going through that, because what I forgot to say is that my sister was killed in front of the child. He remembers it like it happened yesterday. Do you understand? So not only was my sister killed, the son was killed, because even today, I'm sure maybe a few weeks back when you were here, he was here, but now he's like, he keeps coming back and going. Now I'm even tired, but the trauma and the whatever, it's just not stopping. So even last time I heard him saying that he's just waiting to die. Because when he stops the drugs and the whatever, he gets the flashbacks. He remembers the father killing the mother, So that's why I'm saying, had she chosen herself and the child, so also with the person that is going through it, choose yourself. If you've got kids, choose your kids. Because look what is happening to the child now. It's more like nobody can save him. Literally, it's 24 years of his life miserable.
He's still affected.
He is still affected even today. Because somebody chose a man, somebody chose love, if that's what they call love. But if you have a home to go back to, go home. Even if you don't have a home, go to an orphanage, because you had the ones that are left behind. My mom, I no longer had a mom the minute she died, because I feel like a part of my mom died with her. I now had a miserable life, because I could see even the anger she had towards me. It was a matter of, she would think of my sister. Now, there was a time that she actually woke up and she was rotten half of the face because of depression, So it doesn't only affect one person. It affects everybody that loves the person. Like, think of them. If you can't think of yourself, at least look at your loved ones. Because there's no way that you can say you are staying for love, because a person that loves you cannot do that to you.
That's true.
Yeah. So for me, it's very sensitive. It makes me angry. Even when I see women, I normally have women coming to me saying, yeah, my husband is abusing me, blah, blah, blah. I get so mad. Like, it makes me angry. Maybe I'm at the fault because maybe I don't understand, but I just feel like, choose you.
And
Like,
there's
choose
no
you.
room to justify abuse.
No, you can't justify it.
You can't.
You can't, because there are people that loves you. Leave. Leave. Let the person go find their own healing and heal on their own, but you can't be part of that. And I think women, most of the time, they want to help people heal. And now they have to suffer. Like, it's like, no, I understand what he went through. He's got traumas and what, but he's also causing traumas to you. You are not the doctor. Recommend someone and step aside.
Yeah. That's very true. You said something very powerful. Take a look in yourself. Like, look in the mirror. Like, the mirror will tell you, Nomzamo uyapeta manje.
Yes.
Nomzamo, this it's wrong. But deep down, we fail to leave the situation. But today, just take that look in the mirror. Njengoba sekashilo uNdiba ukuthi please do it for yourself and your loved ones.
Definitely.
Then it escalated to your mother now.
My mom dying. So I feel like immediately after my mom's death, a part of her was just dead. You could just see that she was just living for the sake of living. And what made it worse is that the family didn't only kill my sister. Now they took the son. We didn't have access to the son. So because we were staying in Venda, they took the son to Joburg. And as young as I was, but I remember the grandmother's words. So that was the guy's mother. And she said, we are taking him to Joburg and you'll never see him because Vele, you don't know Joburg. And they were right. We didn't know Joburg. So there was no way that we would follow him. And already the law was on their side because they had money. They were rich. So it was more of rich versus the poor. So she spent all the years trying to fight for the son. And she never got that opportunity. So I think my mom died probably 20 years later after
Your sister.
my sister's death. Yeah. But with my mom, she was sick. I feel like I was robbed a bit because she drove herself to the clinic, but she never managed to come back. So you could see that she was still able to walk. She was still active even when she went to the clinic. But unfortunately, that was it. She was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I remember I was this side. So I have an adopted sister that was staying with my mom. So she will be the one to update me. This is what's happening until she says, this time is serious. Because my mom she was a sickly person. She was always sick. So it was not every time that when they say she's sick, I would just jump and go back home because she would get sick and be okay. But that time my sister was like, no, I think you need to come back home, And I remember that day I took a taxi. I went back home because I was staying in Pretoria. I was in tertiary. So I went back home. At that time she was staying in Zanin. Then we got to the clinic. And when I got there, she couldn't recognize me. But she could recognize everybody that was around me. And they kept asking, oh, Yundibu, like, here's Ndibu. She's like, who's Ndibu? I don't know her. I think that was the most painful thing ever. And I felt so guilty that maybe if I had come back home 2 weeks prior to that, maybe then, because she was remembering people that were
very close.
Very close and they were visiting her when she was there, And she couldn't recognize me. But I found comfort because she had, at the clinics, there will be other beds there. So immediately when my sister said that, call Yundibu, everybody woke up and they were like, we want to see Ndibu because she's been speaking about Ndibu. And they said, where's Shudu? Shudu was my then boyfriend, the husband that I have now. And apparently she was always telling them, when Ndibu comes here, she's going to come with the husband because they are like, very close. But eventually, I think after 30 minutes, she was like, yeah, I know you because I kept saying, Ma, I'm here. Don't you see me? Don't you know me? And she kept saying, no, I don't know you,
I think she was losing mind a bit.
Yes, she was. So, but eventually she did recognize me and we moved her from the clinic to Mediclinic, thinking that maybe it will be, because she was at the government hospital, yeah. But so every time we would go there asking the doctor, how is she? They kept saying, like every day, there was a new disease that she had. Oh, she's got pneumonia. She's got TB. Like every single day, to a point where they stopped counting what she's suffering from. They just ended up saying, pray for her. And when they start saying, just pray for her. Then I think, because we were paying cash, it was 21,000 rand every day because she was in ICU. And they were, look, like these people, they will always come with, she needs food, special food. Then they put new drip that is yellow and then they say it's food. Like there was just always something. And I remember just saying that, you know what, I think these people are just taking our money for nothing. Can we just take her back to the government one? Because what happens if she dies and we don't have money. We're just left in debts because we were trying to, because I was like, let them take off everything. If she's still alive, then she will breathe by herself. Let's allow God to just take over. And there was also, because they kept on even mentioning so many diseases. I remember I even prayed to God and I said, if she's going to wake up and suffer from all these diseases, can you please just take her? Because I felt like then she's just going to be, And then I spoke to the doctor and I said, please send her back where you found her. On that day, she died. That's why I felt like probably she died a week before then. And they just kept on saying, oh, no, just pray. Oh, no, just pray. And so that is how my mother died. She died 2 days before my birthday, my 21st birthday.
Sorry.
It's okay. So on my birthday, so it was on a Friday. And then they said on weekends, we're not allowed to come in.
To visit.
Yeah, to take the corpse and whatever. And I remember my aunt was there, my grandmother was there on a Friday. And immediately when we heard that my mom died, Grace is my adopted sister, she started crying. And my aunt said, Haibo, why are you crying? Didn't you see that this person has been dead long time ago? Like that. And then my grandmother said, yo, let me go to my daughter's room and get the clothes. My mom was like a slay queen of those days. She used to wear very stylish and expensive stuff. This is my grandmother, my mother's mother. And she said, let me go get her clothes so that we can sell them, make some money. And that's when I remembered my mother's words that when I die, it's not time to cry. You get up, you lock my room, you will cry after. Because she knew the kind of family that
She has.
she has. So I remember then I just got up and I locked the door. And funny enough, all those relatives that were there, the next day on a Saturday, they said, now we are going. So my mom was staying in Tsanin. So it was where she was working. But we come from maybe 2 hours from that place. So then they said, we are going back home. We will come back on Monday to fetch our corpse, our what. So they are now leaving the kids alone. Because now it's me, my adopted sister, and my little brother. But then there was also a helper. I remember a helper pulling me back saying that, are you that culture? Because she was Betty and we are vendors. And she said, are you that cultures that when a person dies, you celebrate? Because no one was sad. And we were not allowed to cry as well. They left and it was just us and the helper the whole weekend. Come Monday, at some point, I was confused about what do I do? Because I know I had to go to the hospital, the government one, and get the body. The family did come on Monday, but at that point already when they come, I was over them. I just wanted to do things by myself, So we went there and they said, who wants to go and check for the body? I said, and then nobody said anything. So I said, I'll do it because it's my mother, My adopted sister and my
Brave,
husband.
hey?
Yeah, I was married then, but nobody knew. Remember, I got married in secret.
Yes.
I literally just went to Home Affairs and I married my husband and nobody knew. So my husband wanted to go with me inside, but I felt like he will be traumatized, I'd rather just do it by myself. So I got in and I unzipped 21 bags
To check for
for
your
my mother. So literally I had to go through 21 dead bodies. And I finished all of them. I did not find her. I could not recognize her. So the guy was like, no, take your time. Zoom in. She's there. And then there was another woman there, and she had blood here, blood on the eyes, blood on the nose, and that was my mother.
She was still bleeding.
I think when she was taking her last breath, she was bleeding everywhere because there was like blood. And I was like, yeah, this is her. And he was like, you see, I told you will find her. And then
I want to go back to that moment when you were unzipping all those corpses. Did you manage to sleep after that?
I did. I think I was numb for the whole week. I just wanted to do it and get over and done with. I did not allow myself to feel. I remember even people would say, this one, she will die after this week. There's no way that you can do all these things as young as you, because I was 21. So on that day that I was unzipping, it was my birthday. I was turning 21, yeah. So I was not feeling anything. I was not in pain. I was just numb. And the whole week, I was numb. Family members would come. You know what? Your mother used to like beautiful things. I think she needs a cow. You must buy a cow. You must cook chakalaka.
They're not even donating anything.
They're not donating. And I remember, and I said, whoever that wants a cow and a chakalaka, they must buy it themselves and cook it. At this point, I just want to bury my mom. I was a student. I was not working. But nobody cared.
They just keep on requesting.
They just kept on requesting. So we managed to do whatever that we needed to do for that week. We buried her. And the day that we buried her, my father came with his wife. And I remember after burying my mom, he called me from a distance, like, Ndibo, like, huh? Then he did this with his wife and they left. And I could hear my mother's siblings now having meetings like, who's taking the house? Who's taking which bedroom? Already my uncle, I had the younger uncle, because she had two uncles, was like, I'm going to take a room, And some of them were asking what's going to happen to them, to the kids, because it was me and Lucky. And they said, we don't care. And it was at that moment that I went to my husband and I said, do you mind if we go back with my brother? And he said, it's okay. And I remember his mother, my husband's mother, called us. And she said to Shudu that now that Ndibu's mom is gone, you become a father. So when you take her as your wife, you take her as a person that has a child. And that is Lucky. So from today, you are a father. And Shemi stepped up. He adopted him legally. And, like sometimes you feel like even us getting married then in secret, like God knew, because we were young. I was 19.
It was a blessing in disguise.
Yes, it was a blessing in disguise, because he was 21, I was 19. Oh, wow. And now I just stayed with my husband and my brother. Nobody cared where we went. Because I left also immediately when my dad left. I probably left around 4 p.m. on a Saturday.
After the funeral?
After the funeral, yeah. Because I knew that I didn't have a home.
Did they took your home?
They did.
Eventually?
They did. And the boy that we took, Lucky, he went past the 3 weeks back and he sent me pictures. They've destroyed it. And you ask yourself, why? Why did you take it if you're just going to destroy it? But as painful as it is, because I know she worked hard for her kids, but I'm grateful that God never deserted us. Because I would say I'm blessed. I don't think that there's anything that I lack at this point.
Amen.
And I'm grateful, man, that I didn't fight the battles that I was not supposed to fight. And I think also knowing the kind of a family that I come from, because they believed a lot in Sangomas and all those things. So I knew that had I fought, they would have finished me. Because they used to also bewitch each other for some reason, yeah.
God protected you.
No, he did.
He didn't only protected you, he provided for you as well.
He provided. And I always say that it is by the grace that I am here. Like last week, we normally have prayer meetings from 8 to 12:30 with the staff before we start working. And my husband was preaching about grace. And I said, every time when I look at myself, I see grace.
Amen.
Because I don't have qualifications to say they can take me up to this far. Like, I'm sure there are people that looks at me and feel like maybe she has a snake, because there's no way.
Yeah,
yeah, please, So, yeah, I think I see the grace of God. And as painful as it is when I see my mother's house, but I have a better one. I have a better one, and I'm okay with whatever that they did. I do not talk to them. We don't have any relationship, and that's it. The only thing that I do is that if we are in Venda, we'll just pass by the house just to see it. We don't get in, and that's it.
It's still there, destroyed, even now.
It's there, yeah. But still they don't. There was a time that I actually asked that, can I buy it? And they said no. Because I just wanted to have it, They refused.
They wanted to destroy you guys.
That's it, yeah.
My family isn't you.
Yeah. I think as painful as it is, man, it's true. Whoever that said what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and they were right. Because, wow, life will force you to be strong.
Look at you now with your testimony.
Yeah, but it is what it is. And remember when I said my mother's siblings took my mother's house. It was
Yes.
not just the siblings. My grandmother was still there. My mother's mother was there. She was part of it. I think she died 2 years later. Yeah. So it's not even siblings only. My grandmother did that as well. And she enabled the siblings, the aunt and the uncles to follow suit. But little did they know that they were just opening more doors for me.
And God showed up for you.
No, he did.
And your sister's son, did he manage to see your mom before she passed away?
No. The day that we brought the cops home in Venda, that is the day that I saw him walking by the gate. And I was angry because he was with his grandmother, from the other side. I was so angry. Like, a part of me at that time, I was like, they shouldn't have bothered. But then again, he's also my son, But why bring him now when the person that died begging, can I just, I've forgiven you guys for killing my child. Can I just be part of my grandchild's life? And they refused. They only brought him when she was normal. And that is wherein we started having a relationship. I tried rehab 1, failed, rehab 2, failed, He was hired here. Some people have seen him on my channel, but I think he's too damaged. Only God can save him at this point. And I think maybe also sometimes I blame myself that maybe I'm helping him in the wrong way because I don't know what he's going through. But I've done what I could.
Don't blame yourself. God, ngesizulu bathi akasinika umthwalo ngaphezu kwamandla ethu.
That is true.
So he knows your heart. He knows the love you have for the child. He knows you and your husband, the heart you have for helping, and he will come around.
I hope so. I pray
It's
so.
just a matter of time. I remember I saw him as well. He was all right, man.
Yes,
Guy.
and it was fresh,
I was even impressed when he was sharing his story on rehab and what. But
yeah, let's just
uNkulunkulu akamlahli umuntu wakhe.
Definitely. Maybe it was just not the time, and his time will come as long as he knows that he's got a home in me. And, when he needs help, he can always shout. Yeah.
No, uNkulunkulu, he knows.
Yeah.
And I see the love in your eyes when you speak about him,
Sometimes my husband says, I think also because he's the same age as Lucky. So when we see how successful Lucky is, we always feel like if we could do it for Lucky, then we can do it for him.
Yes.
But unfortunately, you can't compare two different people. But I believe that he will come around.
I believe so too. Yeah. I believe so too. What would you say to someone, Oti and Debo? I'm like you. I'm raising siblings, my sister's kids. I'm raising my cousin's kids. I feel like I can't do this.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't want to lie. It's a lot, There's a point where sometimes even when you're trying to discipline the child, and like you find that those people can be very disrespectful. And sometimes you find yourself even saying the words like, I shouldn't be doing this, You are not, you shouldn't be my burden. But I'm doing it because I love you. At least, like, you expect respect. You expect a person to just listen, But Mina, what I would say is that it will be worth it at the end. You do it because you know that probably if the situations were reversed, someone would do it for you. In my case, my mom had siblings. They could have helped. Also with my sister's child, I feel like if we could unite, when I'm tired, when I feel like this is a lot, I can call auntie, take him for a week, can I just breathe a bit? But you take it all in by yourself. But one day it's going to be worth it. Like you said, God can never give you a challenge that you won't be able to face. He's with you. You're not doing it alone. He is with you. And if not you, then who? Yeah. Like, sometimes we look at other people's life, we feel like they've had it easy. But yeah, unfortunately, we don't get to choose the things that we go through. Yeah.
You know what I like the most? You are so blessed, even to have a husband or accept your kids.
Yeah.
Because other kids, they can come into your marriage and destroy it.
Definitely.
while you are saying, I'm helping them, I'm doing this, and then like, it's my prayer. You just touched my heart, because I'm in the same journey as well. I'm
Yeah.
raising my sister's kids. Two of my sisters passed away, and I'm raising their kids. So I relate.
Yeah. And I'm sure you know it's not easy.
It's not easy.
Even disciplining them, it's different from how you will discipline your own kids. Because with them, it's like, they'll even say like, "Are you doing this because you're not my mom?" So there's always that, but we have to do what we have to do and trust that God is at work. God is at work. Yeah.
That's true. And before we wrap everything up, before we finish our episode, I'm so touched that you are a woman of prayer.
I had no choice. I had no choice.
You are a woman of prayer, and you didn't give us that part ukuthi undibu une YouTube nje. Yes guys, unifihlela ne siyayicela.
Yeah, I am a YouTuber, and believe it or not, YouTube is one thing that changed our life in this home. Before I started the YouTube channel, we were drowning in debts. We were drowning, like expenses. They were just piling up, And I started a YouTube channel, and I think 1 month, the gossip one, the very first month, I made 21,000 rand.
Wow.
And that's when everything changed because of YouTube. So yes, I'm a YouTuber. You can find me on Dibuti and Pastor Bay.
Boo, 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 boo. But subscribe, please.
You must subscribe and watch.
Yes.
But yeah, God is good. God is good. And sometimes there are other stuff that I didn't touch on. We don't have time. But it's that when I was trying to, maybe let me just give you a hint that they say, part 2, please. When I came to tertiary, I never graduated because every time when I'm writing exams, I would faint. So I always used to wake up naked at the offices, the principal's office, whatever, because then they will be trying to wake me up. So I had to watch my friends graduating. Hey, congratulations. Congratulations. And the only thing that I had was a marriage certificate. I'm that child that people will say, this one, we an endoda. Like no qualification, no whatever, but I feel like God knew what he was doing. Yeah, God knew what he was doing.
Like today, we are sitting in your studio, Ascend Studios. Guys, by a producer. Nje, it's because of them. So, Nje, if now you want to start your own YouTube channel, please come to Ascend Studio. Angeke. They don't disappoint.
We'll give you the best
qualifications or no qualifications, metric or no metric.
You know what? God qualifies the unqualified.
Amen.
That's why I say when you look at me, you'll feel like snaking because maybe sometimes I look and I'm like, is this really me? Yeah. But grace. Yeah, it's just grace.
I'm so touched, like Genzek. I feel like to say, it's possible.
It is possible.
With this God, it's possible. From a village girl to a studio owner.
To being an employer. When I spent the whole 10 years unemployed, crying for can you just employ me? By the way, I was also a cleaner at Pep Store. I was a till packer at ShopRite. But from a till packer, a cleaner at Pep to being an employer. So you see, like it's grace.
It's grace.
Like it's not something that I would, even when I would say, God, please just give me something. I was talking about being a receptionist, admin there. Yeah. But like Aishem, God, salute.
Yeah, we thank God. Before we close, what advice would you want to give us, Nje? Singababukeli mema scars through your scars and your testimony.
I would say trust the process. And the process, I mean trust God. He knows what he's doing. Sometimes when you're going through something, you feel like, kuzophela nini? There was a point when I would look at my life and I'm like, since the day I can just remember me being me, I never knew happiness. I was like, even the same mother I was talking about, my mom abused me, I was never even allowed to be a child because I became a mom at the age of 10 because when I say my mom was working far from home, I became a mom to my brother. And the same, my mother's siblings and the mother didn't want to take care of the child, So it was painful even when I would think, but when am I going to get a break, I'm thinking school will give me a break. Nakona school doesn't want me. I'm fainting, I'm doing all those things. But 20-something years later, I look at it and I'm like, it was worth it. Honestly speaking, it was worth it because I managed to beat depression, whatever, without even going to doctors, therapists, and whatever because of grace. So trust God. Like sometimes just be still and know that He's God. As painful as it is, trust Him. He never disappoints. Amen. Yeah, and don't try to look for alternatives like, can I just, bonisa? Can I just trust Him? You don't need to know what is God planned for you. Let Him surprise you.
Amen.
Yeah, let Him surprise you and He will surprise you.
Amen.
So yeah, that's it.
So umuntu othi ngifuna ukufollowisha usisi Ndibuthi ngimtholaphi your social media platforms nje.
Mina, I'm not a social media. Funny as it is, people don't believe it. I don't even know. You know what? Come to the studio. Come shoot here and meet me here. Follow me here. But anyway, I am.
How do we get to the studio then?
063-501-7676 or www.sendstudios.com. You'll find us there. But also you can just find me on social media. You can DM me, Ndibuthi. I think just search Ndibuthi. Whichever platform it is, I think I will appear and you'll find me. But I think, Instagram, I think it's Ndibuthi. TikTok, it's what? I don't know. But yeah, ngikhona. Maybe I will just confirm today. I will send you so that you put them here because now I'm thinking, because I said on YouTube I'm Ndibuthi and Pastor Bay and I've just remembered I changed. It's now Sent Family. I think, yeah.
Sizoyibhala.
Yes, please.
We will put it down sizoyifaka bangcwele because we still want more. We still want to learn more. Sisafuna, I believe ukuthi there are viewers outside there abathi nami I want to try and open my own podcast. This is the platform. You will never go wrong. You will never. Nathi sifikile siyimaskazi savela sabakhona because of them. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sissy.
Thank you for coming to my scars, my testimony, and sharing your testimony. Bengathi yabona le beyilethelwe mina angazi, I don't know about you, but this one it was to encourage me, Thank you so much.
And I mean, you just remind us. Sometimes we forget what we have been through. Like I'm sitting, I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
They're all this on one person and this is probably just the 40%.
Yeah.
I'll bring another 60% next time.
We will.
Invite me.
Definitely, we will. But for now, with your host, Usis Nomzamo, ndithi busuku benzolo, ningalibali ke to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Enkosi.